Hello world! Welcome to another edition of On the Air, the show that informs, entertains, and educates. For Area 58 Community Access Media, I am Ken Simmons, and I have with me today two of the people that run, work, help get Area 58 up and running. The Executive Director is pointing the camera at me right now, Rich Goulat. And the cameraman that's with us today is Chris Gardner. I had to call because, listen, I'm 86 years old. What do you expect? We're standing, as you can see, in the Brockton campus of the VA Boston. I think I got it right. Did I get it right? Okay. And we are going to show you, we're going to interview the doctor that's in charge. We're going to interview a paraplegic. His name is Jim W. We're going to tell you all sorts of things about what this magnificent, this great VA does. And I say magnificent and great, maybe those words are a little too strong in your mind, but if you're a patient here, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not a patient here, then you should be watching this show, because you're going to see a guy whose attitude is out of this world. I'm not going to say any more about that, because you're going to see for yourself. So slip off your shoes, get comfortable, pour yourself your favorite beverage, and follow me. I'm sitting here with Dr.
Sabharwal.
Spell that for me, would you please?
First name is Sunil, S-U-N-I-L.
Okay.
Last name S-A-B-H-A-R-W-A-L.
Sabharwal.
Yes.
Okay. I got that pretty good, didn't I?
Very good.
How long have you been here, Doctor?
Here at this VA, it's actually been over 12 years, maybe close to 13 years.
Really?
Yes.
Forgive me for being so shocked, but you don't look that old.
Child labor.
Did you go to school here in this country?
I did my residency here. I actually went to medical school in India, and then I did some training in England, and then I came here.
India?
Yeah.
To me, that's a land of enchantment. I don't know what, I'm old. And one of my heroes when I was a kid was Mahatma Gandhi.
Yes.
I thought he was a great man. I don't know, I shouldn't get into this because I don't know what religion you are, and it's none of my business, but didn't you think he was a great guy for what he did?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you always worked at the VA?
I have. I think since my residency, I did my residency in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and at the time during my residency, they offered me this position in spinal cord injury at the VA while I was still a resident. And that's not, originally I was thinking I was doing a residency in physical medicine and rehabilitation because I thought it was an opportunity to address people's issues on a more holistic way. But I was thinking more about musculoskeletal problems, those kind of issues, and didn't really think I would be doing spinal cord injury care and at the VA. But once I joined, I found that was a great fit and really enjoyed working with the team here and the veterans we serve. So
you mentioned holistic.
Yes.
Is that getting away from traditional medicine?
No, not in that sense. When I'm talking about holistic, I mean a broader base, more comprehensive, and not just addressing medical issues, but the entire quality of life that is impacted by health.
This is your specialty, spinal cord injury,
yes,
I guess?
It is.
Do you see any time in the future when spinal cord injury will not be the serious event that it is today?
Yes, there's a lot of progress being made in research. A lot of that, unfortunately, slower than many people would like it to be. And a lot of things that seem promising initially in animal research don't always translate that well when we actually try to translate that to people with spinal cord injury. But I think the message really is that, there are a lot of advances and exciting advances in different aspects of spinal cord injury care, including, I know you asked Jim about walking, but that's really not always necessarily the most important or the only important thing. I think our message really to our veterans, as well as any person with spinal cord injury, really is that it's good to have those advances in care and to be knowledgeable about those, and there is reason to be hopeful about those. But at the same time, I think the most important thing is for our veterans to make sure that they're in the best health and function that they can be, so they're in the best position to utilize those advances when they do come to fruition or as they do come to fruition. So I think the important aspect is to really not just focus on those future advances, but really make sure that you're ready no matter what the advances to make the best use of them.
Wow, those are great words. Those are great words, and they're very hopeful words. Is to concentrate on today
Yes.
and hope for tomorrow.
Yes.
Those are great words. Almost moves me to tears. Yeah, you are in charge of this unit?
Yes.
Okay. Have been for 12 or 13 years?
Yes.
Okay. You heard what Jim said about the care he's getting. That's a good reflection on everybody here. I myself, an outpatient, as I said, I don't know where I could get the care I get from this place right here.
I think one of the reasons, as I mentioned, I wasn't originally thinking I would be working in the VA or even in a spinal cord injury team. I think one of the really good things about the VA, at least this VA, is that there are a lot of good people who are really caring and who are really here for the right reasons.
Yeah.
And I think it's an honor to be part of that team.
Wow.
We have a lot of, so as Jim mentioned, there's a whole team of people that, and he mentioned some like the recreation therapist he's worked with. So our mission is not just the medical care. So the mission of our Spinal Cord Injury Center is really to promote the health, independence, productivity, and quality of life for veterans with spinal cord injury and disorders throughout their life. So when I talk about that, I think the two things I like to stress. One is that it's much broader than just the medical issues. It's really the quality of life. And then the other thing I think that really is unique to the VA is the lifelong care and commitment that is there. Because even people with spinal cord injury who get care in the best private facilities in the US or in the world, which I think are, and I'm biased, are not necessarily at the same level as VA care, but even those that provide excellent care, the care is very fragmented and it's not lifelong. It's, you might get acute care or initial rehabilitation, but it's really that commitment for lifelong care and really providing the best things up front so that there are less problems down the road.
That says it all, I think. Thank you so much, Doctor, and thank you for letting me. I'm going to interview Jim W. in just, I don't know his last name, I call him Jim W. in just a few minutes, but thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Okay, we're going to take a little break now, and when we come back, we'll be talking with Jim W. Thank you again, Doctor. Well, as I promised, here we are inside the Spinal Cord Injury Center. Am I right on that? Somebody help me with that. Is that? Okay. And I'm sitting here with a guy. We've been talking for a while we guys have been setting up. And I'm going to introduce you to a heck of a guy. I think he's a lot of fun. And I think you're going to love him. His name is Jim W. Jim, how are you?
Oh, you're talking about me?
I'm talking about you.
I thought there was someone else who you were going to interview. I'm doing fine, thank
Yes,
you, Ken.
are. Can we shake hands?
Sure.
Okay. That's
How's
good.
that?
That's good. Yeah, I like the way you dance around there. Jim, how long you been here at the VA?
Oh, gee whiz, it seems like it's been a couple of years now, I think. Yeah.
Enjoy it? Like it?
It's a great place for people with spinal cord injury. They're very specialized in that way, so they've got all the bases covered for your care. So it's a godsend.
I've been a patient here for outpatient for about, I guess, 8, 9 years. And you hear a lot about the VA around the country. I tell you, when I come here, they treat me like a king.
Yep.
I have diabetes, and they've even called me like once a month, how you doing, how are your numbers? Who in the medical profession does that?
Well, you know, I've always said that the care that you get at the VA is superior to any doctor or association that I've had any dealings with. And I can't understand how it is that different places out in the West, the Midwest, have issues with their care.
I can't figure it out either. 'Cause the care I get here, I don't think you could duplicate it anywhere.
You know, Christopher Reeves, how long did he last in the general public? Not, I think maybe 10 years or so.
Yeah.
And people in this building, geez, you can't kill them as much as you try.
You know, like I said, you folks sitting at home, this is the spinal cord injury unit, and the Christopher Reeves he referred to just a minute ago was the guy who used to play Superman on television, and he had a spinal cord injury, and he fought till his last day to get walking again. Did he succeed to some extent?
I think there was more press on that than anything. I don't think he ever did walk.
Okay, we're going to get down to some hard questions now. Is that okay?
Ooh, all right, is it going to be math?
Well, let's play it by ear. I'm going to ask the question,
All right.
and you can say, I ain't going to answer that.
All right, the square root of 81.
I know the square root of 144.
All
That's
right,
it.
12.
12,
There
yes.
you go.
Yes. What branch of service were you in?
Air Force.
Oh, you were.
I was.
I was in the Air Force too.
Uh-huh.
Were you on flying status?
No, I was at a SAC base in New Hampshire, though.
I wanted to get on a SAC base. That's the real Air Force.
Uh,
Strategic Air Command.
I guess so.
I was an AMA, Air Material Supply.
Well, I was very close to your profession. I was a pilot's protective equipment specialist, and I was a air cargo specialist.
God's sake.
Yeah.
What years were you in the service?
When I got out at 21, July 21, 75, and I was on a 18 and a half month.
Was that Vietnam era?
Yes.
Yeah.
There was, it was the tail end of it. They were kind of rolling out. So I was fortunate not to go anywhere but New Hampshire. Yeah.
So your duty was here in the States?
Yes.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I missed anything.
I could guarantee you didn't miss a heck of a lot.
But I have a lot of respect for those that did serve overseas, then and now.
You know what got me interested in veterans? Of course, I'm a veteran, you're a veteran. My kids who are not veterans, never in the service, do so much for veterans. I knew it back here someplace, but I was too busy to really notice it. One day I said, what's going on with it? So I started asking questions. And they told me what they were doing. And I said, you know, it's time the veterans had a voice. So that's why I'm here today. We've been trying to get interviews with veterans who've been overseas. I don't care where they were. If you're a veteran, you're a veteran. And I want them to have a voice.
Well, that's nice.
I think that we're community access, and it's kind of local. We're out of Carver, Massachusetts, but it goes on the internet. It goes all over the world. It goes on YouTube. So we can have some kind of a voice.
See, now you're making me nervous.
No, I don't want to make you nervous, because a pretty face like yours should be seen
gee whiz.
all over the world.
Oh, my.
Somebody told me I've got a great radio face.
Yeah.
Anyway, how long have you been
About 3 years.
paraplegic?
Yeah, about
What does that mean,
Oh, three.
paraplegic? What's?
Well,
I know quadriplegic.
I'm a quadriplegic. I have a C3, C4 injury, and that means that my arms and legs are being affected. Paraplegic is two limbs,
Two limbs.
generally legs.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an open enrollment if you ever want to come by.
Is there any? Could you? Do you think you'll be able to walk someday?
No, not at all. Not at all. I think it's highly unlikely. Although I did read something recently about some stem cell research where they were
Yes, I read that.
they were testing people. You had to be injured less than a month, and they were putting stem cells into the spinal cord area, and it was having somewhat a positive effect, where people were able to use their hands, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing. You seem to be well adjusted, though. You seem to have adjusted to the problem. Am I observing that right, or
Well,
do you cry at night?
no, I hate to use the cliche, but it is what it is, and you have a choice. Your glass is half full or half empty, and I have a wonderful support system with my family and friends, and mostly this facility. When I say this facility, I mean that this facility, being here, literally saved my life, because I didn't want to be here, and I didn't want to not be here, but I didn't want to live as a quadriplegic, and with the team that we have here, it's about 75 people that I know of that are active in this spinal cord unit, and they're just wonderful people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Married?
Married twice. I have 3 children with my first wife and 1 with my second.
4 children?
And I have 5 grandchildren.
5 grandchildren?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're fun.
Where did you live? Where did you come from?
I was brought up in Lowell.
Lowell.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I ended up living in Lowell for a good long while, and then I lived in Lawrence, and I ended up buying the apartment building that I was living in. And when I met my current wife, we both sold our properties and found a house in Reading. And we had both been driving through that neighborhood saying to ourselves what a nice neighborhood it would be to live in.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of funny when we finally were looking, and we both said, this is the neighborhood I thought that I'd like to live in. And sure enough, we found a house there. So.
Now, is your injury service-connected?
No.
Do you get out? Are you able to get out?
I can get out, but I don't dance.
Oh, my word. You people sitting at home, I would hope, if anything like this happened to me, that I would be as philosophical as he is about it. Don't you think that's incredible?
I think you should stop
You
using
can't
big
dance.
words with me. Philosophical, my
You
goodness.
can't dance. Wow. Does your wife live in the area? In the
My
Bronx?
wife still lives in Reading with our
In
son.
Reading?
Yeah,
Does she come down to see you?
weekly.
Yeah, weekly.
She is, I'll tell you, I'd take her to a rock fight. She is the most amazing woman that I've ever known.
Oh, that's nice.
And
What's her name?
Kathleen.
Kathleen.
And we try to focus on our son to make sure that he is affected by this as little as possible. But you know, it's had a grave effect on the whole family.
Yeah, of course.
But
of course.
we're getting better with time.
You're in love, aren't you?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that.
See?
Not a thing in the world wrong with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jim, what does your day consist of? You get up in the morning and then what?
Well, I get up in the morning and have breakfast and some medications, and I get cleaned up and I jump in the chair, and it depends on what's going on.
Can I stop you a
for
minute?
there. Sure.
You jump in the chair? Is
Yeah.
that the word you used?
Well, I'm put in my chair.
Okay.
I'd rather say jumped in my chair.
I like jump better, but I
Yeah.
had to clarify that with the people sitting at home.
Well, when I say I get ready, someone gets me ready.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is not Laurel and Hardy.
Yeah.
We really mean what we're doing here.
So, you know, there's certain activities that are on the calendar that, you know, some of them are here, some of them are on the road. You
Okay.
decide whether or not you want to go to whatever that event is for that day. And they have some standard things like bingo, and you know, you can always pick up a cribbage game with
Here,
someone.
right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or chess, you know.
Yeah. Are you a smoker?
No,
Drinker?
I'm an ex-smoker.
Drinker?
I have had a drink or two in my day.
Any dietary restrictions because of the problem?
Well, I have a bit of a sweet tooth, so I have to watch that.
Yeah, I do too. I'm a diabetic.
No,
I s-
I'm not,
I
thankfully.
still love candy.
Thankfully, I'm not.
Yeah, it's not easy, but I'll tell you what, if I had a choice, I'll take diabetes.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
absolutely.
think you could understand why.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's easy to understand.
Talk
Yeah.
with Jim W., and we're at the Brockton VA. He's a veteran, United States Air Force. If you want to help a veteran, what would you suggest as a veteran who lives here? What do you need from the outside people, from people who want to do something for a veteran but don't know what to do?
Send cash.
I was just going to say, Jim, except for cash, what would you like from the outside world?
Well, Joni is our recreational director, and she is just an amazing woman. She coordinates all manner of activities for the vets, not only in this building, but other buildings as well.
Volunteer?
She is a paid, she's in a paid position.
Okay.
But she has volunteers that do tremendous things. We have the jar heads that come in and do a barbecue periodically. We have other Elks places that we end up going to have dinner. Things like that, just a lot of things just to keep you busy. And you know, it's the kind of thing you can participate as much as you'd like, or as little as you'd like, and you know, you have the luxury of deciding what you want to do.
You seem to me like a guy that likes to be with people.
I would say so. I kind of surprised myself in that respect, because I worked alone for 41 years in telecommunications,
Okay, we'll get into that in a minute.
and I was by myself a good deal of the time, and I thought I was a loner. And when I came here, I found that I was memorizing people's names, and I know just about everyone that works here. There's a few that I haven't gotten around to yet, but
You will.
yeah, absolutely.
Again, I'm talking with Jim W. Brockton, VA. We're going to take a little break right now, but we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. And I'm still with Jim W. Can't get rid of him. That's the way it is. Jim,
Yes,
what did you do for a living? You told me just before we went off the air that you were in telecommunications.
I
What
wa-
the devil
I
was
was.
telecommunications?
well, I worked for New England Telephone back in February of 1971. I started working there. And I worked there for a total of 26 years. I worked in putting telephones in people's houses.
Oh, okay.
Then I went into another field where you worked with data circuits and specialty type circuits. And after 26 years, I retired. I took an early retirement. And I went to work for Sprint 2 weeks afterwards.
Oh,
I worked for Sprint for another 13 years. And
wireless? Was that wireless?
That's the wireless, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was a technician there. I would go out to various sites and work on the equipment that sits beside the towers.
Do you have a cell phone yourself now?
Yes, I do.
You do.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Are you able to operate it okay?
Well, it's broken right now,
Oh,
and when I get it back, I'll use it. I usually, if my wife wants to get in touch with me, she'll call a telephone number that I have here, and I'll know that it's her, and I'll give her a call back.
oh.
Yeah.
We're talking about cell phones now. I have a cell phone. The first one I got wouldn't work. It didn't work at all. I tried everything and I got so frustrated, I went back to where I bought it. I said, this thing is a piece of junk. I want my money back. Cost me $600, by the way.
A lot of money.
I said, I want my money back. This thing doesn't work at all. He said, well, can I see it? I said, sure, here. He looked at it and he said, is this the way you were using it? I said, yeah. He said, you have to turn it on.
You have to turn it on.
But I'm 86
Yeah.
years old.
Yeah, well, geez, you
I've
look.
got a good excuse.
I got to tell you, you don't look a day over 85.
The people in the background are laughing at you. I say something, they don't laugh.
You're not funny.
That was my cameraman that just said that.
Oh,
Anyway.
that's funny.
And so, do you retired from telecommunications? Is that?
I retired from NYNEX at the time.
Okay.
This was post divestiture. So,
How long were you in that business altogether?
41.
41 years.
41 years, yeah.
Most of your life.
Yeah.
You're not, what, 51 now? 61?
35.
35. I'm talking
Yeah.
about your age, not your waist. How old are you?
I'm 65.
Are you really?
Yes.
I'll tell you what, 65 never looked better. Never
Thanks.
looked better.
Thanks.
You've got a
I-
beautiful smile.
Can you follow me around and keep
Absolutely.
telling everybody that? That's
Absolutely.
great.
I'd be delighted to. Veterans mean a lot to me, and I think they mean a lot to a lot of people. They put themselves in harm's way, and again, I don't care if you were in combat, or you were in New Hampshire, or you were in New York City. I don't care. You were there. You were ready. You were willing.
Well, it reminds me of firefighters and policemen.
Yes,
Where there's trouble, everybody else runs away.
they
and-
become a target
Mm.
for us, for you and me and everybody else. I have the highest respect in the world for the police and the fire department, and EMTs.
Yeah, absolutely.
They do one heck of a great job.
Absolutely.
Oh, my wife, she passed away a while ago, but
I'm sorry to
she
hear
had
that.
she had an EMT came to the house when we first had a problem, and he treated her like she was his mother.
How old was she?
She was 71 when she passed.
71.
We were married 56 years.
Was it 10 years ago?
10 years ago, yeah.
Your children?
I have 2 children. Wait a minute, I'm doing the interview. I'm doing the interview. He told me off camera that his mother was a hairstylist.
Hairdresser, yeah.
Yeah, so was I. I was a hairstylist too.
Yeah.
And what is that noise?
I have no idea.
I have no idea. It's coming from the loudspeaker. Is it something we're doing? We got a slight noise here, ladies and gentlemen.
I was waiting for you to say,
If this is a
excuse
case of
me.
indigestion, it's a strange noise coming out of that speaker up there.
I was waiting for you to say, excuse me.
This guy's too much, isn't he? I don't think I've ever met a guy I liked as much so quick. Yeah, I admire you, Jim.
I grow on people.
I admire you. You're a heck of a guy, and you take your problem with a great deal
Well,
of a good attitude.
I got to tell you, I admire you too, because at your age, to be out there still plugging away at it,
I'm having
you-
fun though.
you
I'm having
have-
fun.
yeah, you have a lust for life.
I have a lust for more than life,
Yep.
as a matter of fact.
Well,
we won't go into
we
that
don't
on
want to
the
go
air.
there.
And
We
when,
don't want-
when the cameras stop, I'll tell you a few stories.
All right, all right.
Jim, is there anything else you'd like to say to the people out there? Look right into the camera and say, hey, I'm not feeling so good, or I'm feeling great, or whatever you want to say. The camera's all yours for the next 15 minutes.
Well, 15 minutes, my goodness. You know, I guess the only message that I'd like to convey is that when I was a younger man and I joined the service, and I didn't really understand what I was buying into. And, you know, in life, sometimes you'll get a hand of cards that you'd really rather not have. And that's really what happened to me. And subsequent to my procedure that made me a quadriplegic, I ended up discovering that the VA was there and they could help. And I thought, well, that's nice, but you know, the VA, who knows? I have to tell you, the extent of the help that the VA gives is just too much to try to describe in the 15 minutes that you're talking about.
I was only kidding you.
And yeah, I know.
But
I would encourage young people to serve your country, be a part of it, make a contribution. It'll pay you back multiple times. Okay?
I couldn't have said it better myself.
That's all I got.
That's enough. I couldn't have said it better myself, Jim. And you know, there's a lot of veterans out there, I happen to know a few, that don't realize they can get care at the VA if they'd only show up. There's a procedure you have to go through, but that's okay. They make it as easy for you as they can. Here, in Massachusetts, I don't know about the rest of the country. I can't speak to the rest of the country because I don't go there. But I know as a patient myself, outpatient here, I couldn't get any better care anyplace. I know that. I could not get any better care. And they care for you personally, too. You're not just a number. a check or a money order, or they treat you like an individual, and I really appreciate that. This is the first interview in a series of interviews, I hope. I would like to do one interview a month with a guy like this from any war. I'd like to talk to female veterans. Nobody talks to female veterans. They were as much involved as we were. They should have a voice. I want to talk to Blue Star and Gold Star families. That would be up to me, but the veterans that are here in Brockton is up to the powers that be. And they're busy with other things. They don't have the time to take care of my needs. I wish there was some easy way so that we could get interviews with veterans to tell their story, like this man did. You gotta look at this guy and say, geez, this is a quadriplegic. And look at the attitude he's got. And look at the care he's getting from the VA. Remember that, the VA. The thing you hear all these kind of stories about. It's not true in Massachusetts. And I would welcome somebody to come on the air with me sometime who has the opposite view. I haven't seen anybody. I haven't talked to anybody. And I talk to guys like this that are here. They're going through it. Okay, Jim, I can't thank you enough for coming on with me.
It's a wonderful thing you're doing, Ken.
Oh,
It's a pleasure to be here.
you know, I'm so happy to do it. I'm so happy to be able to do it. And I'm so happy to be able to talk to guys like you.
Yeah, you're the best.
Can I give you a call sometime and go out and get a few beers?
Absolutely.
All right, I couldn't love it anything more. And until that time, I'll let you know how he is when he's in his cups. But until then, I'm going to come back, so don't worry about that, with something else. Until then, though, this is Ken Simmons saying, like Red Skelton used to say, goodbye and God bless.